Welcome back to Everman EDC. In today's video, I want to talk about this knife right here, the QSP Penguin. But this one's a little bit special in comparison to some of the other ones. What's going to make this one special is two things. One, if we take a look at, and I'll give you guys a good view of these scales. We have this orange and black, what they're calling G Mascus. It's basically a G10 Damascus blend, if you will. And that's one of the things that's definitely different about this knife. And then the second one is something that is really, it's the reason I bought this knife. And if you look right here, the blade steel on this is S35 VN. So let's talk about this knife for a little bit. For a lot of guys, they're talking about the QSP Penguin as one of the best knives, budget nut blades on the market today. One of the really neat things about this knife is that you can get it in a plethora of handle materials and in several different blade steels. You know, it comes with G10 scales or micarta, or you can get, I think, brass and copper or titanium even. You can also get it with steels like D2, which is going to be the common steel you're going to find in most of it, up to, you have some that are in this S35 yen like mine, up to 154 cm, all different levels of quality for steel. I'm going to be honest with you, any of them I think will do the job for you. I don't think it matters whether you have D2 or S35 VN. I think for most tasks, it's going to cut, it's not going to be an issue for you. But it really is up to you what you like. So the question to me is, when we're talking about a budget knife with D2 steel, you can find them under $32 with G10 handles or micarta handles. I think that's a great deal. But with a knife, when you start talking about some of those more expensive models where it has titanium and you have those higher end steels, is it still worth it? Is it still quite the deal? Let's talk a little bit more about the knife and look at it a little bit more in detail. So I absolutely love these G10 G-Mascus scales, and it is something that you're seeing in more knives. I think it really is a pretty cool look. It's just something a little bit unique and a little bit different. So I do really like those scales. That being said, the ones on here are definitely a bit slick. So as you can see, there's no milling at all in these. They really are very, very smooth. So, they could be a little bit slippery in hand. So if you're looking for something that you're really going to get a lot of grip on, you might want to look at some of the other handle materials. Maybe the titanium or the micarta. I don't know. I think all of the G10 scales are pretty smooth sided. So that is definitely something you may want to be careful of. Looking down here, I don't necessarily love that lanyard hole. It's kind of like they just kind of threw it on their last thing, didn't really think about it. But it'll work. I don't really know. There's not a lot of people I know that use lanyard holes. I certainly don't. I don't really think it's necessary, but there it is that. If you look at the milling on these things, you can see we've got the T8 here. The handles are T6s as well as the pocket clip. Now you will notice on here that they did, oh, sorry about that, losing a little focus. They did countersink the ones on the handle, but if you look at the ones holding the pocket clip, those are not countersunk, which I think is a real disappointment for me. The clip is nice. I like the clip. It's, a deep pocket carry clip. I think that's great. But if you're going to do a deep pocket carry clip, you would think that you would make sure that you don't have screws sitting up like that. So, I wish they either would put flat screws or countersunk them, or really both, in all honesty. So I think that would have made a much better area for the pocket clip. It is a reversible pocket clip, and the way these work is right up here up top, you can see the screws coming through there. You just pull the screws out here. You can flip it over, but it is a liner lock knife. So for right-handed carry, not a problem at all. Left-handed carry, you can make it work, but it is a little bit of a hassle, obviously, with the liner lock. The blade shape, I've seen it said that that's a sheep's foot. I've seen it as a Warncliffe blade, and we may get a video later about talking about the blade shape, but I do like this blade shape. I think those both are very similar shapes. It has a nice flat here up top, and it is a flat grind. So I am pretty happy with the blade shape overall. One of the pieces I don't love is I wish they would have made the sharpening tool just a little bit bigger here. And the reason I said is you can see, that right now it comes right to that edge, but I'm sure as soon as I put a sharpening or two, you're gonna have it start to roll up there a little bit. So I wish that sharpening tool was just a little bit bigger. If we look at the handle, one of the other things I don't love about this is when you hold it in hand, you really are pretty far back on the knife. It does have this jimping here, but I wish your fingers were up a little bit higher than it is. I think this is one of those, they could have definitely removed some of this material right here in the handle. Would have done a nicer job. You can see the handle kind of is, I mean, I can get all four fingers on there, but it's a little bit smaller than I would like, to be comfortable on it. If I could just move up like, just that quarter inch or so, I think it'd be a much more comfortable handle in hand. But overall, I'm not going to complain about that. Um, as far as opening, it does run on washers, which I have no complaints as far as how it opens. It's a pretty smooth opening knife. It does have those double thumb studs, so you can open it from either side pretty easily. As far as dropping, it does not drop, and I've talked about this before. I prefer knives that don't drop shut just because I like to get my fingers out of the way. I don't want to cut myself. The detent on it is right there, which again, that gives you plenty of room. I'm not coming down on my hand before I get past that detent. I hate when knives, have those late detents and you're kind of smacking your hand on that. So happy with where the detent is, and I think it does do a pretty nice job. It doesn't fall open, so it's got pretty good blade retention. As far as centering, now I did adjust this one just a little bit, but blade centering is great. No complaints there. Overall, I do think this is a nice knife. I definitely am happy to have this S35VN, and the price on this was absolutely excellent. This particular model is a Knife Center exclusive, and it's actually just under $65, which is why I picked it up, in all honesty. I've been looking at these for a while. I'd been interested in having one, but when I saw that Knife Center was having an exclusive and that they were able to bring it out at such a cheap price at $65, it was for S35 yen. I mean, you can't find that anymore at this point. And the prices have gone up so high. So it's definitely an unusual piece there that you can find that. And so if you are interested in this, I'm telling you guys, get this quick because I don't think it'll last long. And when they're sold out, I'm sure they're not going to be able to bring them back in for that price again. As far as I'm concerned, when you're talking about this knife, for a knife at $32, I think it's an excellent buy. With that D2 steel, I think you'll be very happy. With that here with the S35 yen at $65, again, I'm very happy with that. I think I think this is a great knife for that price. Now, if I was going to buy the $120 knife with the titanium scales and the 154 cm, I'm going to be honest, I don't think that I would be happy. The fit and finish on this is okay, but it's not, it's not great. You can see they did a pretty good job. It's, nice open frame design. The liners are they're pretty good. There's not a problem with them or anything. You can see they're not milled out really. And so, for a couple of things that we talked about, the fact that it's not quite big enough for my hand. There's a few design pieces I would have liked to see them do a little bit better. To me, I wouldn't pay for the high-end knife on this, but you may love it. You may decide that you do want that. I will say the jimping on that is pretty good. It's not the best, but nothing to complain about. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you own the QSP Penguin, let me know what you think about it. I think it's pretty good, and it's probably one of those that I would recommend, especially that D2 version. I think that that's a great buy. If you can still get this one, go ahead and get it, but I think I'd probably avoid those higher end versions of the QSP Penguin. If you guys like this particular model of this knife, I'm going to leave a link below. It is a limited edition, so if you want this one, you better move quick on it. It is a great deal at the price. That being said, if you sold out or you're seeing this video later, you're looking for some other ones, I will leave links down below that are going to be affiliate links. If you guys want to look for this knife and check out some of those different options, if you purchase from that affiliate link, it does help my channel a little bit. It helps me be able to purchase some more different things for the review for you guys. And it, doesn't cost you anything more. So if you do click on those links, I'd greatly appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.